going back to last week's game with Syracuse, first of all, I just want to say thank you to our crowd and our students, especially the students from fall break that stayed and supported us. It was, without a doubt, the best atmosphere we've had this season, and the best third and fourth quarter crowd we've had, and it really mattered. And you could see it in the third and fourth quarter with the offsides penalties they were having, false start penalties offensively, and our players, coaches alike, thank you so much for that. And it was something obviously we'd love to have at every game. It was a lot of fun. I thought the pageantry our game ops did with everything with the Military Appreciation Day was really, really awesome. And so thank you to everybody involved in that, and especially the fans for their support and helping our student athletes on game day. It was a great home field advantage for us. As far as the football team goes, I thought defensively, started fast, three and outs against an explosive offense, and fourth down stops, and the quarterback pressures and the sacks. Thought we played really smart, challenged our guys to play with more pre-snap and post-snap discipline, and we did that. None of our penalties were of those varieties. Offensively, went up against the top takeaway defense in the ACC and turned the ball over only one time. I thought our special teams units were very physical. Our field position, you had good punters and kickers on both sides, an excellent punt returner for us and them, and we won the field position battle and the hidden yardage. From an individual standpoint, I thought Laurel, Murchison, and Lewis Asus really played fantastic games for us, and guys played fast. Offensively, we had 11 explosive plays, which we needed to build that into the 10-plus category on a weekly basis, and was happy to see that happen. Started with the first play of the game, and I thought it was a good aggressive call, and there were several of them in the game. And obviously the trick play there, close the half, was a great play call and well executed by the guys. We're continuing to score in the red zone. We need to get more touchdowns and field goals, and that's the area we've got to get better at here moving forward. Playing a really good football team in Boston College coming off their bye week, and I've had two losses here recently by a total of 5 points. They're one of the top teams in the country offensively and creating explosive plays. Obviously, we know how good the running back Dylan is, but they're 13th nationally with 19 plays over 30 yards. So, they got the explosive run game with the play-action game that comes off it. Their fly sweep, jet sweep series that they have gives people a lot of problems, and I think they do a really good job up front. They've only given up 3 sacks all year, and they've lost some good offensive linemen. It says a lot about their ability to recruit and produce at that position group. Kids play with good fundamentals. But it's a top rushing offense against the top rushing defense in the league, so that'll be a great competition there for both teams. And it's always been a game that's been decided by a touchdown or less with them, so we know it's going to be a 4-quarter game, and look forward to playing against Steve and his staff. I think they do a really good job with their players, but they had a bye to get ready for us, and so we know some of the things that we're preparing for they'll have wrinkles off of, and we got to do a really good job with our eyes in this game on defense. I think the eye violations can kill you against them with what they do, the tempo they do it at, and then the shifts, trades, motions, and jets. But they're a hard-nosed group of kids. They play hard, and they've got an exceptional tailback. I think the freshman receiver, Flowers, is really, really playing well. He's a difference maker on the perimeter. Their defense, they're big up front. They're physical. Linebackers are aggressive. For us, we need to take what we've done at home and bottle it up and get it on the road with us and play better on the road for 4 quarters. And so that's our, kind of calling card with this game. We know what we're in for with them, and we've got to play really, really fundamentally sound football. They take the ball away a lot like Syracuse. They're second in takeaways. They've got 8 interceptions with their defense, and they're explosive on offense and run the football in a physical manner. So we've got to do a really good job being gap sound and not giving up explosive plays, which is something we've been good at and is paramount in this football game, potentially on the road. You just can't let somebody run the ball all over you and have a chance to win. So you look at their receivers and their tight ends, and they're averaging 17, 18, 19 yards per catch. And that's tough. You know, when you have a back like that, you're getting that kind of movement down the field in the pass game. So this comes down to us being very disciplined and understanding who we have and why we have them and doing it the right way with our coverage units. Questions?
You mentioned Dave only put up 3 sacks. You guys have 16 sacks the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Do you look at this as one of those good-on-good matchups where you kind of challenge your guys and say, you know, that they haven't given up too many of these?
Yeah, I think that'll, you know, our guys know, you know, and we respect them up front. And so we know it's a battle, you know. I mean, this is one of those old school games in the trenches, but there's no doubt, you know, when you look, all right, they're good at running the football. We've been good at stopping the run. They're good at protecting their quarterback. We've been good at getting to the quarterback. I mean, there's some things in there, and they're really good at taking the football away. We've been good at protecting it, you know. So there's a lot of things at play in this football game where you have strength on strength. And so it'll be a really good, you know, opportunity for us to challenge our guys.
How did Icky grade out in his first start?
He did some things really well. I mean, first play, he had a pancake on the first play of the game, which was a drop back pass. He handled it. You know, I think there's some things, obviously, all 5 of those guys have to do better, but for his first start playing against the level of player that he had in Syracuse, I mean, that's the best, in my opinion, all the way across the board with their rotation. Their front is really good.
So last week, Devin Leary got a snap or a drive. I'm sorry. How did he play? Did he play well enough to continue to get chances of game time?
Yeah, I thought Devin did some good things. You know, I mean, he came in and had a couple completions. He had a really nice throw. Unfortunately, we didn't come up with the catch. And he had a teachable moment, you know, where he tried to be, you know, superhuman almost on a play. And sometimes you got to just recognize the defense did enough and just run and get what you can get or throw it away. But it gives us a chance to continue to get him some reps and help him develop and be ready in case he's needed there. And I thought Bailey did some really good things. You know, if you ask Bailey, he'll tell you he didn't play well. But I thought he played, you know, better than he did the week before. And that's what you want out of both of them is improvement, and I think we got that.
I hope this doesn't sound like a stupid question, but is there that big of a difference between a left-handed quarterback and a right-handed quarterback, especially like both the receivers and the offensive linemen? And then if there is, how does that change things from a coaching perspective?
I think there is if you get into the movements and how guys scramble. Some guys are more prone to scramble to their arm strength. Some guys can't throw well going opposite their arm, and I'm not saying Bailey can't do that, but when you look at sprint outs and bootlegs and different things like that, a lot of times you're going to find a team right-handed or left-handed based on their quarterback. So, you know, from a play calling standpoint, you have to be able to flip things in your mind based on who's in the game at times.
How about from like an offensive line standpoint? Do they have to kind of adjust?
Not necessarily. I mean, I think it really just depends on that guy. I mean, if he's going to be a stationary guy, it doesn't matter, you know. If he's a guy that always escapes one side versus the other, it could affect the tackle more.
What is it about this game that always seems to just come down to the wires? It always does.
Well, in the past, you know, it's 2 teams that don't beat themselves a whole lot. You know, if you look at us and them, we're turnover margin teams that really care about that. You know, you look at the penalties, and we're usually in the top 3 with them for least penalized teams. We're physical teams that can run the football and that put a lot of stock into stopping the run. You know, I just think you've got a similar mindset between the 2 teams, and so maybe that's why, not sure. But, you know, we respect them a lot, you know, and I know just talking to Steve, just, you know, similar. Both of us really respect line of scrimmage play.
I know Boston College didn't play on Saturday, but I'm guessing you had a chance to watch some games.
Yeah.
Did you come to any conclusions or any reasons for optimism or pessimism or just watching your division opponents?
No, I mean, I with what we're dealing with you know, the age of our team, the injuries to our team, I think every week if we can just not beat us and get better, we'll have a chance to win every game. And that's, like I told the team after the Florida State game, the only team on our schedule I'm worried about is us. And I think that's true. I think we can be in a one-possession game with every team we're playing and win if we just get better at the things that we got with who we got and eliminate the things that beat us. I mean, you watch college football right now, and every week they're like, how is this team playing with that team? And, you know, there's guys getting upset, and I can't get into all that. All I know is if we beat ourselves, we got no chance. None. And so that's where our focus has to be, and getting these guys that are now into Game 7 to play like veteran players, you know. They've seen more, and like Jordan, he shouldn't be making mistakes that he made in Game 1, Game 2, and Game 3, you know. And there were some reads that he had in the run game that could have been explosive runs, you know, and so getting him to play faster, and those are the things that I'm worried about.
Chris Ingram's on the depth chart. Assume that the injury wasn't as bad as it looked, and he's ready
Well,
to go.
we're still waiting on a verdict on that. So they're with the doctors today, with all our guys, for that matter. So we meet with Justin at 3:30. It hasn't been ruled out yet, but we'll see where we end up.
You played against some really physical Boston College defenses in the past. This one looks like it's not quite as experienced. Is
Yeah.
it just as physical as far as you're concerned?
Yeah, I mean, they're big, strong guys like they've been. They've had some elite defensive players in the last couple of years, you know, guys that were drafted in the first and second round of defense. And so now they're kind of like we were 2 years ago when we replaced all those guys. They've got a younger group in there. So not to take anything away from their talent, they're just not as experienced as they were before. You know, they had guys that have been in. It seemed like their D-line was together for 3 years in a row. So you got a lot of new faces in there in the front, but the body types are still big, and they got a lot of mass to them inside the box.
Are they also giving up more big plays,
Yeah.
you think, than they have in the past?
They are, yeah, I think they are, and I mean, you can look at their, you know, the statistics on defense and see, you know, the rushing defense stats and explosive plays and different things like that.
Do you have anything else?
All good? You guys have a good one.
You do too. Thank you.